We are back at it today. It's Women's Equality Day, and we're celebrating all day long at Palette in Saratoga Springs, New York. So thank you all for tuning in, and thanks to everyone that's here. It's blistering heat outside, but they came to support. So I'm here with Daphne Jordan, Senator Daphne Jordan, and I'm so excited to see you here again. We did this last year, which was fun, and I think that might have been like the second time I met you ever.
Probably. I'm not sure, but I met you, I think, at your ribbon cutting, and then I came here for Women's Equality Day. But even though that was the second time I've met you, I follow you all the time, whether it's on Facebook and what you're doing with Palette and with your women that you have. It's sort of like a great culture that you've made here.
Yes.
And so, I'm going to take the lead here, even though this is your show.
All right, I love it.
Because I brought something for you. Actually, I have two things. I have brought today the New York State Senate 2021 Commendation Award honoring Catherine Hover. And I'll show that. There you go.
Awesome. Thank you.
And let me just tell you that this is not an award that's easily gotten. I have to get permission through the Senate to award this. They look at what I say, what your credentials are. Let me read to you what this award, who is able to qualify for this award. It's awarded to exceptional individuals who have made a dedicated and lasting contribution to their community, participates in philanthropic efforts, and shows effort and dedication to improve the quality of life in every aspect of their communities. And you have done that, Catherine. With that award comes also a Senate proclamation.
I love proclamations, by the way. They're like my favorite thing.
Well, this is your very own.
Oh my God. Mom, are you watching this, Mom and Dad? I want to make sure they're watching. They'll watch the replay, maybe.
Just even the title, honoring Catherine Hover with the New York State Senate Commendation Award for her exceptional work to empower the lives of women. And that's what we're here today for, right? Okay. Women's equality and empowering the lives of women. And you have done that, not only with women, but in the business community as well. You've been a voice here. You were a voice during COVID. You helped to get the sidewalk set up here for businesses to thrive when businesses couldn't be inside. But this proclamation sort of goes through your 10 years here, from moving from New Orleans coming with your husband and starting your paint and sip, and then your other businesses, and what you've done here in the community. So thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
And so even though you think it's great that you're interviewing like Senator Daphne Jordan, I think it's great that I'm here with Catherine Hover.
Thank you so much. So many times throughout, the course of entrepreneurship and motherhood and just life in general, we want to give up. And so it's times like this where, we have others who advocate for us and shine a light on us and just remind us of the impact that we're making and the work that we're doing. And it's just so important. And it doesn't go without saying or showing what we're doing here and why we're celebrating Women's Equality Day and what all of this is for. I created Palette and to be a resource for women to come together to support one another for a change. And it's just nice to have the reflection of like, okay, I'm on the right path and I'm doing things that are making a difference. So, oh my God, thank you. That was not scheduled.
No, it wasn't. But aren't surprises the best part of life?
They are. So, obviously, this is one of the perks of your job.
Hey, when
I
get to do
this kind of stuff,
when I get to do happy things, that makes my day. I mean, not everything that I deal with is necessarily happy, but when you can make a positive difference or honor somebody or go to a ribbon cutting for a business that's opening, that's all fun stuff. That's great. It's great. You get to meet people. You get to learn from those people. That's the good part of my job.
Yeah. Well, tell us more about what you do on a day-to-day and what I know how you got into politics, and you're so much more than just a representative of your constituents. But how did you get started, and bring us through a day in the life?
Okay. Well, how did I get started? I would say that I got started at an early age, sitting around the dinner table with my parents, because usually we talked about what was going on in our community, what was going on in the world. My parents did a lot to help different organizations in our community. They were big volunteers and leaders of the community. So I just thought that that's the way it was supposed to be. So in my adult life, I did the same. Wherever I lived, I'd volunteer. I'd find, what interested me and what needed to get done, and I'd go for it. And so when I moved here to Half Moon 24 years ago, you find a need and you go for it. And at that time, we needed a bigger library in the Clifton Park Half Moon community. So I worked to get Half Moon in the library district and be part of that library system. And then we built a new library. I became a town board member after that. I worked on my predecessors as a staffer for my predecessor, Senator Marshallin, as her legislative director. And so I'm very fortunate to have been able to continue my public service as a state senator now. And the day in the life, every day is different. And what I would say is that it's never boring. Every day, and I tell people this all the time because it's true, it's like opening a new encyclopedia every day because you learn so much. I could never pretend to know everything that I would need to know to take care of 300,000 people and the 60 municipalities in my district. So every day is a learning experience. I enjoy that very much. Hopefully my brain will always stay active because of that. But a day in the life, it starts with lots of emails every morning, and it could be from a mayor or supervisors. It could be email inviting me to an event. Certainly there are a lot of constituent issues that we deal with, and those emails are plentiful, and we try to help our constituents the best we can. And I have a wonderful staff that really hones in on that. Haley's here. She helps with that. I have a great team. It's not just me. It's my team and my office behind me that really gets into the nitty gritty. I do too, but they will, be given direction.
Yeah.
And they get to the bottom of everything and are the ones that help. It could be things like, why isn't NYSEG connecting our affordable housing units? Can you give a call to NYSEG? It could be something, could you give a call to DEC because there's a sewage problem that the town says isn't their problem, but it's somebody's problem. Every day is different.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I also wanted to hear your take on how important and what an impact the local leaders had on our community throughout COVID. I think a lot of times we focus on the bigger picture, and especially in voting and stuff. I know a lot of people, they only vote in the presidential election. They don't think about the local level, and it's the local leaders that came to bat for us during COVID to make sure that we were all okay and we had all the resources we need. And how did you manage to get through this last crazy year?
Yeah, and it's been more than a year, right?
Yeah.
It's been crazy, and you're right. Your local leaders are the ones that really are the boots on the ground in the localities. The further removed you get, I guess the higher up in government, you get a little bit more removed, but I would have to say that I was boots on the ground. I did what I could to get around to deliver hand sanitizer to those that need it because it's expensive, and I was able to get a lot of the state.
We're still using the hand sanitizer actually at Paint and Sip. I mean, you delivered giant jugs of hand sanitizer, and I'm still working through those jugs.
So that was, one way to help, but really to be able to help people get the food they needed, to be a resource of where they could go or who they can call to take care of things. Where could they go and get a vaccine? Helping people in the beginning to get vaccines was very difficult, and my office worked very hard on that. Even, I would say, probably the biggest problem during COVID was helping people get their unemployment benefits. Hundreds and hundreds of people were held up for months, and the Department of Labor had issues. They couldn't handle it all. So really, the state legislature, most of our offices were really acting as like the Department of Labor, trying to get those claims through. So that's one thing. And we're still dealing with a lot of trouble. It was, getting businesses open. And now the problem is that when businesses are finally open, they're not able to get the help they need.
Right. No, I mean, we were definitely struggling on that front. I mean, we were closed actually on Monday and Tuesday because we didn't have the staff support to stay open. So I'm hoping we'll see a flood of people coming back to the workforce, especially in the service industry when the unemployment, like the extra unemployment runs out.
Right. The end of September.
The end of September. Yeah. Okay. Well, there we go. Silver lining. I know that it was helpful, and I think, in my opinion, it's like we do have to start to figure out how to move forward with COVID and manage it as best we can. But, the unemployment can't last forever, and we can't continue to extend it either. I just think we do have to get back to life.
That's exactly well said. Yes, we do. So, even though you're open and even though restaurants are open, they have to turn away business, which is so unfortunate. When I have a restaurant calling me and saying, oh gosh, we have these catering opportunities. We're finally able to do it, but we can't because we don't have the help.
Right.
Or a landscaper's business calling me and saying, we're turning all kinds of business away because we don't have the laborers to do it.
Yeah, it's really frustrating too. And I know, Saratoga, we have this influx of tourism and lots of people walking the streets, and obviously we want to provide this excellent customer service to them, but if we don't have the human capital to deliver on that, it's almost better for us to close our doors and say, if I'm going to put a product out or a service out, I want it to be top notch, and it's impossible to do that with just the skeleton crew that we have. So I'm hopeful that obviously we'll see the end of unemployment at the end of September, and we're not out of the woods though. We have this fall season, winter season. It's going to take more efforts, and just for all of us to continue and keep going and working together and leaning on our local leaders to support us. And what wisdom or advice do you have for going into this next season of continuing business? It's not as usual. It's continued COVID.
Right. Even though there is COVID out there, I think we learned a huge lesson from the last time around. We can't just shut everything down. I mean,
you don't see that. I don't see that.
I don't see that happening. We're on the ups. I think everyone realizes that too. That was not that. It was a mistake. I'm going to say that was a mistake. Shuttering everything.
I'd have to agree with you. I mean, we didn't shut down. I mean, I didn't even shut Peyton Tip down, and I remember thinking, well, if they come and tell me I got to close my doors, I mean, you got to figure out a way to make money. I mean, I got mouths to feed, I've got bills to pay, and I have a staff to support. We didn't lay off anybody. I mean, it was like I wasn't going to put anybody in that bread line. It's not a fun place to be in. So we kept on moving forward, and we creatively thought of ways to continue having revenue. We did paint kits, and I kind of just said, I took that, what's that saying? Like, don't ask for permission, ask for forgiveness. And I felt like in that moment, if anyone came knocking on my door and telling me I had to shut down, I would almost have to laugh in their face, because it's not an option for me. So at Pallet, we kept on doing curbside pickup to go. I mean,
and you fought for this outdoor.
I did. Unfortunately, space. I had to fight. Unfortunately, I had to.
I know you came to
speak up quite loudly and hysterically at some points, because I thought that it was just, asinine that we not use this property that is here for us, and everyone's safer outside. People feel more comfortable outside. And I was saying this earlier today, I hope this is one of the silver linings, that we can actually see how we can use public space to support the private sector and it's good for the community. It's good for our customers, for our staff, everything, like all around. It's a good thing. You know?
I agree with you. Yes.
Awesome. You heard it first. Daphne agrees. We should keep this outdoor space for the long term, with or without COVID. It could be something that sustains. And
I think it's nice.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. So what's next for you? Like when do you have another election coming up?
A year from now we'll be gearing up for that.
Okay, and you're
2022.
Yeah, keep running, keep at it.
Well,
do you ever see yourself stepping away from politics?
You know, I don't really call it politics. I call it public service. You know, there's a lot to get done. This is only my second term, so this is my third year that I'm serving. And in many ways, I can see how it takes time. I mean, I told you there's 60 municipalities in my district.
And it's an incredibly diverse communities, diverse people that you're representing. So, you know, there's a wide spectrum of needs that you need to support.
There is, and you don't learn all that like in a 2-year term.
Right.
And I feel cheated in some ways because of COVID. I couldn't get around and meet with the people I wanted to meet with because they weren't meeting. I mean, we did Zooms, plenty of Zooms, but that's not the same.
So you feel like you there's still so much work to be done.
So I've been in high gear ever since, you know, everything's been opened up. That's why I haven't even taken time off yet.
I know you were telling me this earlier. So you're taking vacation next week. You promise?
I am taking some time next week because I have to.
Yeah, and Haley can handle the week without you.
I think,
you'll still be on standby, I'm sure.
I think my staff can handle it. And I told them I would check my emails every day. And I'm still there. I just won't be out and around.
Yes, so, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I want to hear your opinion of our new governor. And what are you hopeful that we can restart and start fresh with a woman governor?
I think it's awesome that we have a woman governor. I have been fortunate to be in Governor Kathy Hochul's company several times just in the last few months. She's very personable. She does listen. She's to the point, and I like that. So yeah, I mean, it's up to her how she's going to reset things. I'm very happy that she is there now. Of course, I was one of the first ones calling for resignation of former Governor Cuomo. Yeah, I was going to say something else, crooked Cuomo.
Well, you know, you call it how you see it, right?
So. Yeah, so I'm very excited to have our new governor, and it's great. It's great for women. It's great for young women to see that the person in charge of our state is a woman. And actually, you know, we are getting more women in government, and that's a good thing. I mean, we have Assemblywoman Carrie Warner, who was with you earlier this morning. There's me. Next door, you have Assemblywoman Mary Beth Walsh. Look at the mayor here in Saratoga is a woman. Mm-hmm. Commissioner of Finance is a woman.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Public Safety is a woman. So I think it's, you know, part of my thinking is that many women hold themselves back. There's no reason to. The door is wide open for women in business now, women in government, and it's really just a matter of going for it.
Yeah, and I think finding the support where you can get it, right? So reaching out to your local leaders like Daphne, like Carrie, you know, Meg, you got to call these people. You got to tell them how you feel, be vocal about it, solicit their support for what projects you're working on, and partnership on things to just work together, you know? So I do agree with you to a point. Like a lot of times I just didn't even know that I could have a seat at the table. I didn't know that I could be start my own business or create my own way, you know, that kind of something I had to figure out on my own. And the more that we can mentor younger girls to get involved in their local economies and speak up for themselves, even like in the school level, student government. There's so many programs out there and resources, and it's just a matter of getting the word out on how to best utilize those.
Now, I don't know if you're aware, but Saratoga County had high school, I think they were juniors, girls, where they had a program this summer where they were getting exposed to government opportunities.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And so I went and spoke with them one day, and it really is great. I mean, they listened. They were very interested in what I had to say. Our district attorney, Karen Hagan, woman, was there also and spoke. But opportunities like that for women, for young women that are interested, are great. I really didn't have that opportunity when I was younger to speak to a representative, or I didn't know that I could.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is you weren't exposed to it. And the same for me. You know, I never thought. I mean, even before COVID, I don't think I ever really utilized that dialogue between my representatives. I just never thought that my problems were that important. You know, it's like we're not solving the world's problems. We're making an impact, obviously, but you know, it's things like what you just did, right? Like acknowledging the work that we're doing, making me feel like, okay, we're on the right path, we're doing the right thing, and it's important. Like the little things are important, and that's how you kick the ball off the field.
Yeah,
together.
Also, you know, one of my favorite things, and it hasn't been able to happen for a while because the legislature was shut down and outsiders couldn't come in, is when the school classes would come in. I loved speaking to the kids, bring them into the Senate chamber, and they were like in awe, looking around, and again, were in awe of hearing what I had to say, which I sort of laugh because I'm just a mom too, like their mom, you know, so I speak to them that way, but yet they look at me as like, oh, you're our senator.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. You know, I tell them what it's like, but I also let them know that I'm just me.
Yeah, and then that they have the opportunity to take that seat too, you know, as they grow older. So I know there's like some programs that you can go into, like campaigning. I mean, that's you know, you have to campaign, you have to get the vote, right? So tell me more about, did you go through some sort of accelerator or some sort of program to help you with fundraising and creating a campaign and a platform and all that stuff?
Well, I don't know that I would call it a program or an accelerator, but usually you're involved with your local committee, your political committee. So for me, it was the Half Moon Republican Committee. And I was involved with that for many, many years. And you're the people that carry petitions to get people on the ballot, right?
Yeah,
so that's the first step. And you know, many people don't know that that's how they can initially get involved.
Yeah, get their foot in the door.
That's right. So, you know, that's pretty much how it started politically.
Yeah.
For me. And just getting involved in what was happening in our town. And, you know, I was on an alternate for our planning board, and then I was on the zoning board of appeals, and then town councilwoman. But you learn through experience and helping others with their campaigns, helping the committee. And then with my own, you know, it's basically the people around you that support you that are going to do the work and help you get along. I don't know that there's any course.
Yeah.
to
course
do it. You
in
just
life.
sort of have to do it.
Yeah, no, I get that. And I want to also shout out, you have a weekly newsletter.
Yes.
That you said, the weekly wrap up.
The weekly wrap.
And I read it religiously because it's just so helpful for me to just be in touch with what's going on, you know, and you do so much work for our veterans and for women. I mean, I want to, you need to keep doing that. So to make sure you keep at that because I read it.
I enjoy doing that.
And I like to hear, it's just a personal letter, really. It feels like I'm listening to you on the phone, you know, and so it's helpful to me. I hope you keep it up. And it just, not educates, but like just keeps me informed on what it is we're working on. I mean, so many times we're like, what do our representatives do for us if we're not speaking to them on a regular basis or in crisis? I think that's probably a big time when people come at you and they're like, you know, I need help with this is urgent. But the weekly wrap up, it is so cool just to kind of get in your head about what you're working on week to week.
I'm glad that you read it, and I do get a lot of positive comments on that. People do enjoy it, and they like knowing what I'm doing.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
you
hopefully
should know what your representatives are doing, right?
Well, I love that transparency. I want to know what's going on. I want to feel like I can speak to you on a personal level because what you're doing for us is personal. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Is there anything else you wanted to add in or share with the crowds, sitting in the heat out here. Or there's we're streaming live on LinkedIn and Facebook, so I'm sure we'll have questions that you could or Haley could refer back to later on.
Yes, if anyone has a question, we're happy to. You can email my office anytime, Gordon@nysenate.gov, and we try to
You
answer.
do answer. It's kind of remarkable sometimes when people who you feel are just so busy and so important email you back right away, and then there's other ones who it's like, well, what? Come on, email back. I'm like, again, I love that open two-way communication that I've managed to have with you, and I don't think I'm exceptional. I think you seem to be like that with everybody.
Thank you. We try to be as responsive as we can.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. I'm actually leaving to go to town tomorrow, but I'm going to bring these with me so that I can share with my whole family that I'm up to a lot of good up here in upstate New York.
You are,
and I'm not just I'm not on vacation.
Oh no, you certainly have been on vacation. I do follow you, and you work hard, and I am so proud of you.
Thank you so much. Thanks everyone for watching, and we'll be back shortly. Let me just hit the end button here. I'm like
So also there's some extra paper copies of proclamations in here too.
my